Let's start with Lee Konitz, who was an improviser's improviser. Konitz is a jazz legend who for 70 plus years made a mark in American music. He was born in Chicago, Illinois on October 13th, 1927, to Austrian and Russian Jewish parents. Turns out his parents came to the U.S. around the same time as Louis Armstrong was working as a young man for the Karnofsky family. Lee's parents, who spoke Yiddish at home, supported his musical aspirations and purchased a clarinet for him when he was 11 years old. Benny Goodman's popularity and prowess on the clarinet was an early influence on Lee, and fellow jazz clarinet great Artie Shaw, whose parents were also Austrian and Russian Jews, was beloved by Lee's father, especially Shaw's Concerto for Clarinet. Lee took music lessons in Chicago and eventually switched to alto sax as a teenager. At 16, he met Lenny Tristano, a pianist and musical philosopher who profoundly impacted Lee's approach to music for the remainder of his life, which ended in 2020 at the age of 92 from complications due to the COVID-19 virus. Now, Lenny Tristano urged each of his students to learn the jazz tradition, particularly as found in the music of tenor saxophonist Lester Young, nicknamed Prez, and Charlie Parker, nicknamed Bird. Bird is the alto saxophonist who pioneered the virtuoso style of jazz called bebop. Here's Lee explaining the influence of Bird, Charlie Parker, and why he's distinct from Charlie Parker in his own stylistic approach.
Because Charlie Parker was the main voice at that time. He played the same instrument that I played, and I didn't really play like him. I didn't have a similar experience in life that he had, and I was under the inspiration of Lenny, who loved Bird also, but suggested to me that I should probably cool it and try to develop my own voice as much as possible. But in order to develop your own voice, you have to know something about where you come from, where the music comes from. So I learned solos of Louis Armstrong and Lester Young and Charlie Parker.
Word to the wise: imitate masters, then develop your own voice and style and approach. Now, let's hear Lee Konitz with fellow practitioner and student of the Lenny Tristano School, Warren Marsh. Together they play a song that's Konitz's best-known original composition, Subconscious Lee, which is based on the harmonic chord changes of the American songbook standard, What Is This Thing Called Love? I'll always remember reading an interview with Konitz in Downbeat magazine in 1985, the year I graduated from college, where he described his approach to improvisation. He was using in that interview the standard "all the things you are" as the basis. He'd start with 8 bars of the original melody, and with each chorus develop variations on the theme, maintaining allegiance to the original by referencing target notes of the melody, while varying the rhythmic emphasis, employing various variations until those variations became more and more of an original theme and what he called an act of pure inspiration. So I'll close our section on Lee Konitz with 2 anecdotes from instances I saw in person with him. Both were at Jazz at Lincoln Center. Now, on one occasion, I was giving a pre-concert lecture in which I played a song from Benny Goodman's discography that had a bebopish edge. The hall was packed, so I couldn't see everyone individually. After I played that cut, I saw a hand go up. I called on the gentleman. It was Lee Konitz. I was so excited that before he could even ask about the song, which he hadn't really heard before, I had to declare what an honor it was to have such a living legend in attendance, who, as Wynton Marsalis would say of Konitz, was a pure improviser. On the second occasion, Konitz was being interviewed. The interviewer declared how much he respected Lee's integrity. He said, "You never sold out." Deadpan, Lee looked at him and then at the audience, shrugging his shoulders, saying, "Nobody ever asked me to."